It's an absolute nightmare. I don't want to own the sandwich shop. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Anthony, this is a very special week. I think this story, very special episode.
You remembered my birthday.
Is it your birthday?
No, it's not my birthday. I wanted to see that look on your face.
Well, this could serve as a birthday present, be it early.
Yeah.
Though it may be. I saw this story submitted on our Discord by Spielberg Neufer, one of our stalwarts. And I thought to myself, I believe Anthony's going to enjoy this story very, very much. I'm going to present the story to Anthony. This is not a new development. This is not a breakthrough in science, as we like to cover. This is an old thing that there has been a new story about. So old, it dates back to 1944. You remember it well, Anthony, 1944?
Yeah. This that was the year when planes and bombs?
Yeah, there was some of that.
Was there planes and bombs that
year?
We
were in, the whole world was doing the same thing. The whole world got together and decided, let's all make a war.
Yeah, we all got together. It's beautiful when this happens. All of society got together and they were like, we can do something. We can really change the world if we all come together and do it. And that thing that they decided to do was murder my grandparents.
Well, to be fair, only half the world wanted to do that.
They decided to, the whole world came together and said, what if we put Anthony Carboni's family into large ovens? And let me tell you something, when the world comes together, they really know how to do something. They did.
Really? It's true. It's true.
Is it the activity I would have chosen for us? No.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the good news is that there was parts of the world, and you happen to be sitting in one, that was like, that's not maybe. Let's actually not.
Sometimes people are like, nah, this is not. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And that was the year that Jack Benny hosted the Academy Awards. We all remember.
We do. He put his hand on the side of his cheek and he looked perturbed.
Casablanca won that year.
44?
Yep. That was Casablanca's year, baby.
Play it again, Sam.
Right.
So half the world was like, nah. In fact, they were coming up with ways to maybe try to stop those folks. And this story is about one of those ways, Anthony. The story is about a document that was written and published in 1944. Well, not published is the wrong word. It was proliferated. It was circulated in 1944. This was written by the U.S. Office of Strategic Services, which would later become the CIA.
That's right.
But in 1944, it was called the U.S. Office of Strategic Services. And someone, gosh, I wish I knew who. It would be wonderful to know the group that came together to write this document. But they put together a little pamphlet titled The Simple Sabotage Field Manual. This pamphlet was declassified in 2008. So it's been declassified for quite a while now, but I had not heard of it. I don't know if you've heard of this. I'd never heard of the Simple Sabotage Field Manual.
But I had not heard of it by its title, but I am aware, looking at this article, I am aware of the content of it.
Well, I would like to share it with our audience because I have now read the entire pamphlet. It's not long. It is available online in numerous places in PDF form, scanned in from its original publication. And this is a delight to read. This is an amazing thing. It is an instruction manual for the average person, what a term they coin called the citizen saboteur. The citizen saboteur. Anybody, your average, just regular old Joe or Jane, Q public, going about their daily life, can help the war effort by just fucking shit up, just being bad at things.
Yeah.
Just causing problems.
That's right.
To the enemy.
The idea of this is you act stupid on purpose. And if enough people within an organization act stupid on purpose, even one person is enough, you can bring an entire organization to its knees.
It's amazing. I want to step through it. So I want to get to the juicy stuff last, but let's start at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And the pamphlet makes a distinction between what they call the highly technical coup de main, which are acts that require detailed planning and the use of specially trained operatives. This is not that. They say that is something that we're working on here at the soon to be called CIA.
Yeah, we got that part. Here's where you can do your part.
You can be a citizen saboteur.
I'd like to think that I am. Do you know what I mean? I like to think that I am.
This is why I wanted to talk with you about this, because I feel like this is your bailiwick.
Look,
this is your wheelhouse.
I'm not trying to take the wind out of the sails of your story. I'm not going to give away anything that you're gonna go through here. But I want to tell you that I have been parts of teams before, where I know that what the team is doing is wrong. I know that this project is the wrong project. I know we're going about it the wrong way, and I simply begin seeding questions. Begin acting just a tiny bit confused.
That's right.
Begin acting just a tiny bit confused and asking questions and just sending more emails than I have to, and just sort of just gumming up the works a tiny bit, just a tiny little bit, to where everybody starts asking whether this whole thing is really worth it.
You appointed yourself citizen saboteur.
I have been this citizen saboteur. And I will continue to be the citizen saboteur, because what we'll find as we're going through this, Jeff, is the definition of the citizen saboteur has changed quite a lot since since World War II, since Casablanca. And the thing is, as we go through a lot of these tips and tricks for people to bring the world to its knees through stupidity and bureaucracy, take note of how much of this stuff is standard operating procedure for large organizations these days. Right. You don't need to be the citizen saboteur anymore. We are all the saboteur. They are self-saboteuring.
That's right. That is the grand takeaway of this.
It really is.
This used to be a thing that required paperwork and instruction. Now it's just Tuesday.
This is what, we're M-Bisoning our way through this. Because a few of these things that happen is like, hey, like one of the big things that they say is make sure everything goes through like 100 proper channels. Like not just like, once again, sorry, I'm giving one away here, but make sure everything goes through 100 channels. Don't just talk to the person that can get it done. Don't just get it done yourself. And don't just involve like the direct manager that could potentially be involved with it. Involve anybody. Involve anybody who might have an opinion on it or feel some ownership over it. And make sure everyone has to talk about this decision. That's the best way to make sure the decision never gets made. And when I think about fucking corporate structure now, that's all it is. It's like, well, we better loop in Kathy. Why the fuck would we loop in Kathy?
Right.
Wait, people are going to hear this. People are going to hear this, and they're going to think that I'm talking about a specific Kathy. I'm not talking about.
You're talking about the cartoon Kathy.
I'm talking about Kathy Guyswhite. I'm talking about the cartoon Kathy by Kathy Guyswhite, who eats chocolate and is in love with Irving. I'm not talking about the Kathy that you think I'm talking about. I just picked a random name out of a hat. But it's like, let's involve Jason. Why would we involve Jason? Well, Jason one time went to a meeting about this sort of thing. What do you mean? What do you mean? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's you and I making a decision about a thing that only affects us. Yeah, but if Jason doesn't get involved, like we should ask Jason. If Jason gets involved, we better ask Carl, because if we don't ask Carl, he'll be pissed that we asked Jason and not him. And I'm just like, fuck, nothing gets done.
Anthony, I love your enthusiasm about this. I knew this was going to be right in your wheelhouse. But I want to step to it. I want to step through it. I don't want to get there too quickly because what this pamphlet is laid out in a very fascinating way to me, which is it has sections and it breaks down into the different types of ways to be a citizen saboteur and the different jobs you might have and how you can apply these skills. So there are two big categories of citizen saboteur, and one involves, so they say basically there are ways to carry this out. And this is the whole purpose of the pamphlet, is to instruct you in ways to carry out citizen saboteur acts in such a way as to involve minimum danger of injury, detection, and reprisal. This is an instruction manual of like, you can undermine anything, just fuck shit up without anybody knowing it or having any blowback to you.
Hey, all kids, right. You can undermine anything if you put your mind to it. I believe that all children have the ability to undermine literally anything if they really want to. It's
kind of their whole reason for being.
Yeah, sometimes even if they don't really want to. I think kids are just ruiners.
They're born ruiners,
Bless them. Put them into the Secret Service is what I say.
That's right. Let's get them into the CIA. So spy kids? Is that what you're saying? Spy kids?
I'm saying spy kids. I'm saying there are giant thumbs that are out there trying to take over our democracy, and only the youths can stop them.
I wish I could make a Spy Kids reference, but I've literally never seen a Spy Kids. There's like 14 Spy Kids movies. I've never seen one of them.
There are 83 Spy Kids. And then if you count a Shark Boy and Lava Girl as Spy Kids adjacent, then you're all over the place.
Yeah, no, anyway, so there's two main categories that this pamphlet goes over. The first is what they call destruction. So where destruction is involved, they say, the weapons of the citizen saboteur are salt, nails, candies, pebbles, thread, or any other materials that might be normally expected to be possessed by a householder or worker.
That's right.
So they said the arsenal is the kitchen itself, the trash pile, the known usual kit of tools and supplies.
That's right. This is like MacGyver. This is like every one of us is like a MacGyver.
Exactly. This is, and there are detailed instructions of how to like punch holes in things, clog up toilets, bend. Are you a person that works with tools? Bend the saw slightly every single day so it slowly over time will break. Just get in there and fuck shit up. Pour salt in the gas tanks of just little by little, tiny little things. Let grime and gunk build up over time to become a fire hazard. Like detailed instructions over how you can actually make stuff break.
I love it. Just listen. Everything is on the verge of breaking all the time. All you got to do is just help it a little bit, really.
Exactly. And literally there are page after page after page, and it breaks down. Is this the kind of job do you do? Are you doing this kind of job? Here's some little ideas you can do. Put a coin on the light bulb. So when they turn on the lights, the light bulbs shatter. There's so many little things, like detailed instructions how to create a little ball of twine to flush down a toilet so it'll expand and fuck up the plumbing.
Yeah. Just clog the toilets, fuck up the sinks. Just really mess with stuff. Start taking like one piece of silverware home from the break room every day.
That's right.
That's right. And then you get to the point where like not everybody can have lunch at the same time because there just aren't forks. Everybody's just a little frustrated all the time.
So, but this is not, so destruction, big category. This is not the category I'm most concerned with, as you've already, this is MacGyver. That's the wrong MacGyver. No, that's my How MacGyver. Dare you?
MacGyver 2016, the real MacGyver. Look at this motherfucker.
How dare you? Where's Richard Dean Anderson? May he rest in peace.
Is Richard Dean Anderson dead?
I thought he might be.
He might be. Sure. It might be.
It was a hockey accident, I think.
There was a MacGyver 2016, and if you're not a video patron, patreon.com/we have concerns. The key art for this MacGyver 2016 remake makes me want to just punch MacGyver in the face.
It's terrible.
They make MacGyver look so smarmy. He's tied to a chair. The room is on fire. He's falling backwards, but he's looking at you and he's giving you the DreamWorks smile. This is a real man, a real human man that they found that's giving you like the DreamWorks smirk with the one eyebrow. And it's just, I just want to punch MacGyver in the face.
It's terrible. Richard Dean Anderson is the one and like, truly MacGyver.
I'm getting out of this.
So we can talk about as much of the destruction side as you want to, but I am so much more interested in what they call the second type. So here we go.
The destruction side is cool. The destruction side is cool, and it makes sense. And it's like, hey, do every little bit that you can. But listen, if you want to do something that literally cannot get you in trouble and will work 100 times better.
Yes. So here's how they describe it in the opening paragraphs of this pamphlet. A second type of simple sabotage requires no destructive tools whatsoever and produces physical damage and produces no physical damage. It is based on universal opportunities to make faulty decisions, to adopt a non-cooperative attitude, and to induce others to follow suit. Making a faulty decision maybe is simply a matter of placing tools in one spot instead of another.
That's right.
A non-cooperative attitude may involve nothing more than creating an unpleasant situation among one's fellow workers.
That's right.
Engaging in bickering or displaying surliness and stupidity.
Can I tell you, I genuinely do. I genuinely do think everyone should have to read this, if only to verify that they are not this person accidentally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like everybody in the world that works in an office, everybody in the world should have to get this is their office manual and be like, if you're doing any of this, you're an asshole. You're just an asshole. Like, cause that's all it is.
It's
like when they're talking about citizen saboteur, it's like, just go to work and just be a real shit about it.
Dude, but they have step-by-step instructions. So it gets into the nitty-gritty and it breaks it down by like, what's your job? Okay. So here's the key section. General interference with organizations and production. This is toward the end of the pamphlet. So it has subcategories. It's written more like an outline or these are subheadings, so you can quickly find the place that you can be most effective. You know, it's not written in big chunks of text. It's written in, subheading A, subsection 1. Yeah. So under organizations and conferences, this is some of the stuff you've already kind of brought up. So number 1, insist on doing everything through channels. Never permit shortcuts to be taken in order to expedite decisions.
Why get to it, dude? Why get to it? We should talk around it. Listen,
that's right.
Are we all really comfortable with this? And by all of us, I mean, is Lori here? Has anybody checked in with Lori to see what she thinks about it?
Yeah.
Dude, Lori works in another office in a different department. Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel
really
like
should weigh in with her.
We should weigh in because she's
going to have some good insights on this one.
Yeah, she's been in this sort of situation before, I think. So we should really give her a call. You should do this a lot with your tongue.
Yeah. All right, here's number 2. Ready for this one? This one was one of my favorite ones. Number 2, make speeches.
Oh, hell yeah.
Talk as frequently as possible and at great length. Illustrate your points by long anecdotes and accounts of personal experiences. Never hesitate to make a few appropriate patriotic comments.
Just make sure, just throw in there how much you love your country every once in a while. Just really toss in there, just like, look, we're doing it for the stars and stripes. You know what I mean?
This reminds me of a story. Oh man,
maybe you've heard it. It was a little man who went on a ride at midnight. His name, Paul fucking Revere.
Perhaps you've heard of him.
I don't know. It seemed like the odds were insurmountable for him as well.
Make speeches, number 2. Okay, number 3. When possible, refer all matters to committees for, quote, further study and consideration.
God, yes.
And attempt to make the committees as large as possible, never less than 5.
I love this because here's the thing. 2 people, 3 people can come to a consensus about anything if you put them in a room. If you put them in a room and you're like, hey, this is something that needs to be done. It's got to get done for work. Just figure out the best way to do it. They'll compromise. They'll figure it out. The second you get to like 4, 4 starts getting real dicey. 5 people,
never less than 5. Dude, you never want to go less than 5.
5 people is insurmountable odds. Have you ever tried to organize just like a brunch? Have you ever tried to just go to dinner or a movie with a group of? We should all grab a drink on Saturday night. Oh, really? Have you ever tried to run a D&D campaign, motherfucker?
My wife has started, volunteering to organize the little parties that happen in our kids' classrooms.
Yeah.
Like this is like kindergarten, 2nd grade. I have a 2nd grader and a kindergartner. So it's like, Valentine's Day party. So it's a group of moms that all volunteer. Holy hell, Anthony. It's a near impossibility to decide on. They're trying to decide whether they should have sugar cookies or chocolate chip cookies. They're trying to decide, what activity to do, pin the tail on the donkey or a puzzle.
Dude, do you know?
You would think they're trying to decipher the freaking, it's nuclear codes.
So
it's craziness.
Here's where I think we're hitting up against a very important point and why society has turned into this sabotage manual. And I'm not trying to generalize, and I don't want to minimize, but I do feel like a lot of people that are members of like their kids' school committees, a lot of people that are members of maybe like the tenants association in an apartment building, things like that. These are people who are looking for meaning. Right, they are searching for things to fill their day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They want things, and maybe it's a temporary thing. Maybe it's a permanent thing. Maybe it's somebody who's like, well, I got a couple weeks of downtime. So I'm going to help out at the school. And those people tend to be like much more chill. Right. Like without getting too much into it. Like your significant other is currently doing this because she has some downtime. Right. This is not her life's meaning. She's going to do more things. But there are people who make these things their meaning. They think of it like their job, and they think of it not just as their job, but as their identity. And what's happening in society at large is as we spend more and more time at work, as our lives become more and more about working, and as things like public places and senses of community outside of work are being taken away from us, we ascribe way too much meaning to our identity at work. And so people then begin to act as though work is them. They are work. This is their identity, and it's the most. Right. And so people are like, well, this decision is important. We can't just decide sugar cookies versus chocolate chip cookies. And we certainly can't buy them both because they're not just $3 a box. We've got to figure this shit out. And that happens at work too. It's like, well, we've got to decide what day of the week the department meeting should be on. Yeah. Okay. Well, it must be Thursday. It's the most important thing in the world. And I'm going to talk to you for an hour about why it must be Thursday.
Exactly.
And so we've turned into this manual, dude.
It's staggering to see how this feels just like a description of every company structure I've ever worked in. We'll move through these a little quicker. So number 4, bring up irrelevant issues as frequently as possible.
Hell yeah.
Number 5, I love this one. Haggle over precise wordings of communications, minutes, and resolutions.
Oh, snaps for that. Snaps for that, dog. Snaps for that, dog. Oh, there's nothing better than that. It's like, oh, but is it really? Do we really think of this as strictly an informational meeting? Because I think it's procedural.
Exactly.
What? Fuck you, dude. Fuck you, dude. I'm supposed to go to lunch in 15 minutes.
Exactly. Yep. Number 6, refer back to matters decided upon at the last meeting and attempt to reopen the question of advisability on that decision. Yes.
Let's take a step back. It's been a week. Let's really examine whether we made the right choice. We're 7 days in. How do we feel about it? I haven't been getting sleep at night. Cheryl, how have you been feeling about it?
I know we closed that issue last week, but I really want to reopen and talk about that one because some stuff has changed in the interim.
Yeah, I got a really interesting email this week.
That's right. I got a really interesting,
and it really made me think about what we decided last week. Oh, did you get a really interesting email? Are you the first person in history to get a really interesting email, Carl? Everybody, call the historians. Carl is the first person to get a really interesting email.
Okay, so
was it about the time cube? If it wasn't about the time cube, I don't want to hear it, Carl.
Not that interesting then.
Yeah.
Then it's not interesting. So they have another subcategory here. So this is what you could do as an average worker. I love it. But if you are fortunate enough to have achieved the level of manager or supervisor,
that's right,
Anthony, there is an entire different subcategory here in the Saboteur manual.
If you kept your head down enough during the round after round of layoffs that you're still there, if you failed up, this is for you.
Now, I want to read these to you and tell me this was an instructional manual for managers and supervisors to act differently than their day-to-day.
Yeah.
In 1944, they needed to write this down so as to instruct people how to act differently to cause bad things to happen.
Right. This is the opposite of what you want.
This is the opposite of what they would normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Managers and supervisors. 1, demand written orders. Okay. Got to be in writing. Got to write it down.
Everything's got to be in writing.
Number 2, misunderstand orders. Ask endless questions or engage in long correspondence about such orders. Quibble over them when you can.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Number 3, do everything possible to delay the delivery of orders, even though parts of an order may be ready beforehand. Don't deliver it until it is completely ready.
Yeah, no, you can't just complete part of a task and be like, hey, everybody, this part's complete. And that way, those people that are waiting on that part of the task can start doing their task. No. And do you know what this is? When you were talking about orders and shipping these days, do you know what this is, Jeff? This is a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh,
this is
100%.
Somebody saying,
dude,
don't show anyone the PowerPoint until it's completely done. Don't get feedback on contents, on edits of words. Don't get feedback on design. Don't get feedback on anything until the entire PowerPoint is completely done, as though PowerPoints mean anything.
Yeah. Wait for the all hands. We're going to do it in the all hands.
Yeah. We're going to sit, more than 5 of us are going to sit in the all hands, and we're going to come up with a PowerPoint together, slide by slide.
I love this one. In making work assignments, always sign out the unimportant jobs first.
Yes.
See that the important jobs are assigned to inefficient workers of poor machines.
Yes. Dude, okay. Now I personally believe, this is Anthony Carboni telling you that when you're at work, do the minimum. You don't get rewarded for doing more. No one's ever been rewarded in a corporate situation for doing more. It just doesn't happen. You want to do just enough. And the thing is, managers want to do just enough too. And thinking about the harder things that need to get done, that's harder to think about than the easy things to get done. And so a manager is going to be like, well, I'll just give all this stuff that I've already thought that I don't even need to think about. I just understand it. I'll give that out right now, and I'll give it out to the fastest people I've got. and they'll get done with it the fastest. And then when they finally figure out how to wrap their minds around the tough thing that the department has to do, there's no one left except fucking Norm. Fucking Norm's in the corner just playing Minesweeper, and it's just like, Norm, congratulations, you're gonna handle the Dickens file. And he's like, I don't know what a file is.
Right. It's the last one left. It's the most important.
I've never heard of a file. What the fuck? Okay. Remember, everybody's bonuses depend on this one file.
Oh, dude. Okay, here's one of my favorite ones for managers and supervisors.
Yeah.
To lower morale and with it production, be pleasant to inefficient workers. Give them undeserved promotions.
Yes.
Discriminate against efficient workers. Complain unjustly about their work.
Listen. The more work you do, the more work you're given to do.
That's right.
That's just something that is universally true. The more work you do, the more work you are given to do, because you're just sitting. You don't get to go home early. No one gets to go home early. That's not the way society works.
This is shocking to me how it's just a description of working in a corporate environment.
It truly is. And what's double fascinating about it to me is these things have been going away. There are studies that have shown that these things have been going away since work from home started.
Right.
Now that people can become unentangled from, honestly, these saboteurs, these people that are genuinely trying, without knowing it, to sabotage everyone. And particularly these middle managers, right? These people who, if people aren't in the office, these people don't have jobs to do. So they need everybody to come back to work. As they are demanding that people come back to work now. They're demanding it for two reasons. I mean, number one is all of these corporations own an obscene amount of corporate real estate that loses its value if people aren't there. And that's part of their overall portfolio of holdings. Like, it's sometimes the building is worth more than the people in it. Number two, they just know that you're doing more and you're doing it in less hours, and they don't like it. They want all your hours. They want everything to go back to this again. And we were just starting to get out of the shadow of it.
It's wild, man.
It's so wild.
It's wild to read this in text, as it's like, this is how to do things as badly as possible. And it feels like this is standard operating procedure.
This is it now. This is exactly what it is. It's because
here's one that says, see that 3 people have to approve everything where 1 would do. I also love, this is the best one, because this is a very, this is like, the precursor to the CIA. It's very dispassionate, in a lot of ways. It's very by the book, by the letter, no flowery language until you get to this one, which I love. It says, spread disturbing rumors that sound like inside dope. All right. Hip, cool pamphlet. I love it.
No.
Sounds like the inside dope.
It's the teacher doing a TikTok dance. Oh no. That's so funny. The inside dope. I've got the inside dope for you. Are you hip to that? Okay, officer. Maybe don't use those terms.
I mean, I was with you, and now I kind of feel like this whole pamphlet's kind of dorky.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. I'll use the inside dope.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then the only sentence in this entire thing that's like in italics is like, they really want to emphasize, under employees, it says, work slowly.
Heard and understood. Done and done. Thank you very much.
I love this one. There's so many good ones, Anthony. There's so many good ones. It's like, misunderstand as much as you can. There's one that just says act stupid.
Yeah. One of my favorites is that they tell you, don't teach other workers things. They tell you, like, if you see somebody struggling, let them struggle. If you see somebody,
or leave shit out, like it says, just like leave out important details.
Yeah, leave out important details. And then if anybody comes back to you, it's like, hey man, you didn't tell me about that. It's like, oh, I assumed you would have understood that was part of it.
Yeah,
that's okay. We can go back over it. Let's go back over the whole thing.
It says pretend that instructions are hard to understand and ask to have them repeated more than once.
God. Listen, this might be my. I don't mean to like give up my OPSEC here, Jeff.
Yeah.
But the number of times I've done that in a production meeting for like a bit that I know is going to fail, and I'll just be like, I don't really understand explain the bit to me again. Can we go over that? Okay, I'm not. So why does that? Okay, why are we doing that? All right. Okay, one more time from the top, just so I feel like I've really got my head wrapped around it. That's like, maybe we shouldn't do this one. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this one. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we shouldn't.
So good. So there's general devices for lowering morale and creating confusion.
Hell yeah.
Give lengthy and incomprehensible explanations when questioned.
Mm-hmm.
Be as irritable and quarrelsome as possible without getting yourself into trouble. Here's a great one. Cry and sob hysterically at every occasion, especially when confronted by government clerks.
Wow. Just cry about it. Nobody knows what to do if you cry about it. Like if you're at work and you cry, like nobody knows what to do. What do they do about it?
Especially when confronted by government clerks. The permit department guy's here. Do you want to talk to him? I can't.
He just wants to make sure that we got the permit. I have been going through so much, and permits are so hard to understand.
Oh,
it's so good.
This is amazing stuff. It's kind of horrifying how just we've all encountered all of this, and it just seems absurd that it would have to be it's absurd that it's a plan of attack rather than like what I have to deal with every day as I go to work.
Yeah. But it's also important. I do think it's time to bring this back as like, hey, be aware of this, not just because we've turned into it, not just because people are doing it without knowing it, but hey, corporations don't care about you. If you really if you just want to fuck shit up a little bit, it's okay to fuck shit up a little bit. It's all right. Hey, if you are like, man, what we do is bad and the way they're treating employees is bad, you can fuck shit up a little bit. It's fine.
Well, here's the next important piece. The next important piece, Anthony, is like, sure, all of that is wonderful and let's all do it. But how do I not get caught? Right? How do I not make sure? How do I do these things in such a way that somebody's like, hey, Jeff is really crying a lot every time the government employee comes around? Well, there's some tips for not getting caught as well.
Oh, lay it
that
on
I want to
me.
read you. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Try to commit acts for which large numbers of people could be responsible.
Like crying.
That's right.
Any one of us could be crying. It's 2024.
Anybody could have, forgotten to send off the very important application that we needed to send off.
That's right. Because it had to go through 5 approvals.
But it also says, do not be afraid to commit acts for which you might be blamed directly, so long as you do so rarely and so long as you have a plausible excuse. You dropped your wrench across an electric circuit because an air raid had kept you up the night before and you were half dozing at work.
That's right. Anything could be responsible for it.
I was tired.
There was this accident on the 405 and I was like rushing to get here today. And then like I got a ticket in my head. I'm sorry. I'm out of it today. I apologize. That's why I threw the copy machine into the fountain.
Well, you hit on the next bit. It says always be profuse in your apologies.
Oh yeah.
Frequently, you can get away with such acts under the cover of pretending stupidity, ignorance, overcaution, or weakness and dullness due to undernourishment.
Yeah.
I didn't have a sandwich. That's why I took a dump in the boss's desk.
Yeah, that's right. Oh no, I accidentally cut the power lines to all the computers. The computers don't plug in anymore. And it's because I'm eepy. It's because I'm an eepy little guy. I'm just a little guy and I'm eepy.
Yeah. Here's the last word of caution, though. It says, after you have committed an act of easy sabotage, resist any temptation to wait around and see what happens.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to loiter.
No, you know? if you loosen the tops of the salt shakers in the break room, you don't want to be around.
Yeah.
Snickering in the corner. Boy, that looks real bad.
How amazing is this? How amazing is this? The 1944 Simple Sabotage Field Manual.
Simple Sabotage is also just like a great band name.
It really is. The Citizen Saboteurs is not too shabby either.
It's not too. They sound like a Simple Sabotage cover band, though.
Yeah.
Like you go to see Simple Sabotage and it's like just one guy from the original Simple Sabotage and the rest is the Citizen Saboteurs.
That's right.
There's like, I can't believe I paid $80 for this ticket. Only one of the guys is here and it's the fucking bass player.
And they didn't even play Crying all the time. Their best hit.
This is amazing. And I really do think this is such a good read for most people. And like you said, it's short.
Yeah.
It's important to read because you can understand when people are unwittingly doing these things, which people do all the time. And you can also understand genuinely, like, learn how to weaponize this shit if you have to. Jeff hasn't said that once this whole time, but I'm going to say it. You should do this at work. The new enemy is not the Axis. The enemy now is the shareholder. And we need to destroy the shareholders whenever we can.
I highly recommend. There's so much stuff we've left out, but I highly recommend it. I mean, it's broken down by jobs. It's like bus drivers or machinists or teachers, or it has like all these different jobs, all these different things you can do. Some person or group of people put in a lot of work thinking through all the ways you could just be a total dick in your average life, you know?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, this feels like a much more useful team than the team that was trying to figure out clairvoyance.
Right.
You know, of all the OSS stuff that was going on, this might have seemed like the silliest team at the OSS. Like, we're going to teach people how to steal paper clips and ruin binders. It's like, okay. Well, what are you working on where you're so derisive of my paperclip plan? Oh, well, we're teaching people to blow up goats with their minds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna.
What are you guys working on?
You feel like that's gonna happen, huh?
What are you guys working on? We're teaching average people how to sabotage things. What about you guys? Mind reading? Oh, really? Shouldn't you have known what we were working on then?
Yeah. What are you working on? We're trying to see how tiny a bomb has to be to strap it to a pigeon. And can you still hurt people with it? The answer is no. The answer is steal the paper clips, idiot. The problem is Monty Python wouldn't be out for like another 30 years, so they didn't know.
Yeah,
they didn't know what a pigeon or a swallow could carry.
That's right. The reason that the goat psychic dudes didn't get anything done is because these guys were in the same office constantly plugging up the plumbing and taking the salt shakers out. Like, we can't get anything goddamn done. This guy keeps asking me to explain it another time.
That's right. MK Ultra would have worked a lot better. You know what I mean? But they had these guys just sabotaging everything. You had poor Manchurian Candidate. You had poor Frank Sinatra in a room getting messed up by the government, and he wasn't getting messed up enough because these guys were stealing water bottles out of the fucking refrigerator.
It's so good. I highly recommend this as a read. It will give you a new insight into just day-to-day life if you work in an office. I mean, Lord knows I have And I see individual people that especially in the managers and supervisors section. I'm like, holy shit, was that person an operative?
I think so.
Was I working for a spy?
Everything in your life has been a psyop. Everything in your life has been a psyop. Birds aren't real. They're drones. Okay? Your office was filled with plants. They're after you. They can see you right now. Run. Run to the new MacGyver. Only the new MacGyver can save you.
Look at his smirk. He knows what's up.
He knows.
I thought my supervisor was a jackass. Turns out they're playing 4D chess.
That's right.
I don't.
That's right. Now we all know. Now we all know. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm sure that you all have people you've worked with or things that have happened that remind you a lot of this, or maybe you've done it yourself. If you want to commiserate with some other folks who know, maybe a great place to do it is over in our Discord.
It's a fantastic place to do it. Is that the same MacGyver? It
That's
doesn't even look like
MacGyver.
the same guy.
That's the same.
Oh,
guy.
Look, he's got a paperclip in his mouth.
Yeah, because he's MacGyver.
He's about to MacGyver some shit up.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, go over to our Discord. It is, there's a restriction. You gotta earn the right to be part of the cool kids. We can't just let anybody into the Discord. How do you earn the right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's with a single dollar. $1 every month. It's like MacGyver. He can use $1 to get into the locked room in the hotel. Ooh. He just uses the $1. It's like sliding your credit card along the lock.
I like that metaphor.
It's just giving us $1 every month.
We'll do the MacGyvering for you.
That's right. That's our service to you.
All you got to do is head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. And in addition to heading to the Discord, where tons of people are talking about amazing and wonderful stuff, leaving science stories, talking about books they're reading, things they're watching, all kinds of great things. As you give a little more, you get a little more, including Q&A sessions with me and Jeff. You get bonus videos, you get bonus audio episodes, all kinds of stuff. Just head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.